This is SMARS, the robot that's been past my channel since the very beginning, and it just did 5 things it was never built to do. This chassis is where it all began. No glue, no screws, no solder anywhere in it, just the whole thing clicks together. About every 2 years I put a new generation of electronics into the exact same chassis. The SMARS Quad, the SMARS Inventor, SMARS Mini, Pico SMARS 2 and the SMARS Q just last October. I'm calling this one Modulino SMARS. Here's what stayed the same: the motors, the wheels, the tracks, even the battery. Every bit of what actually moves this robot is exactly what it's always been. So if the only thing that's genuinely changed here is the sensors, what's the one part of the build that actually still needs a wire? Hang on to that, we'll come back to it. So what are Modulinos? Let's take a closer look at a Modulino. So you can see over here we have one quick connector, and there's also another one on the other side. This means that you can connect them all in a daisy chain. Each board is I2C, so it's addressable, and each has a unique capability. So in this case, this is the Modulino Vibro. So there's a little motor there that spins around, makes this little component vibrate. You can also see the I2C headers are broken out there. So if you wanted to solder a header, you can do that there. And there's also a bunch of other header pins on the other edge. If we flip that around there, you can see what these are. So we've got ground, 3 volts, PF2, serial wire clock, serial wire digital I/O, TX1, RX1 and PAO. Other things worth noting, there is 3.2mm screw holes in here, so this is great that it has 4 screw holes. This makes it really easy to mount to things with a good solid connection. All Modulinos are I2C, so unlike Grove connectors where they can be a mixture of analog or digital, these are always I2C. Arduino do a hub Modulino. This one can connect 10 devices together, but it's not providing any additional power. So there probably is a maximum limit of number of Modulinos that you can connect depending on what the power draw is. They're designed to be very low power, but things like the LED ones will obviously draw a bit more power than say something like the joystick. I basically own every single one of them. There's the distance sensor and the LED matrix. We've got the movement sensor, we've got the motors and then also the buzzer. 2 quick connectors on each and every module, wired in parallel, so just one click into the next and you just keep going. There's one that's missing from my shelf if you're paying attention. That's the Modulino latch relay. I don't have it yet, but I have ordered it. It should be arriving very, very shortly. It's literally just arrived. This is primarily for home automation and can switch large loads very safely. Now the brain. This is the Unexpected Maker's Feather S2 Neo. I picked this for 2 reasons. It's got a quick connector, so the whole chain of Modulinos plugs straight in, and it's got its own battery connector too. These are Arduino sensors. This is not an Arduino board. It doesn't care and it doesn't matter. Their own MicroPython library says plainly in its own documentation, any board that has I2C and can run a modern version of MicroPython is supported. Not any particular brand's board, any board. SMARS always had the eyes right here. Not better at everything, just better for this. That's distance, and just like that, it can see. This is actually why I've called them eyes in the first place. The old ultrasonic sensors generally had 2 of them. One to send out the ping and the other one to listen. So one is actually my phone and one is a speaker. It needed 4 wires straight into the Uno and the code to time the echo yourself every single time. So this one doesn't ping at all. It's a laser instead of sound. So the timing is the actual light bounce off back rather than an echo. And it doesn't get its own wires either. It just joins the same quick connector chain as every other sense in the robot. Next, it learned to express itself. A voice and a face. So the face is this little display, and on the back there's a little buzzer there as well for sound. Modulino buzzer gives it its voice, and the Modulino LED matrix gives it its closest thing that the robot's ever had to a face. And then it learned to move and to know how it's moving. Modulino Motors is driving SMARS's original 2 motors right now. Every one of these connects the exact same way, click and you're done. Driving the actual wheels though, more on that in a minute. And Modulino movement is what's just told it's leaning in real time, and that's how it caught itself. That's the full set. It sees, it speaks, it moves, it shows, and it measures. 5 sensors all in, about €55. Distance, buzzer, motors, LED matrix, movement, and I'd bought every one of these before I'd started. And I did get a few of these in the plug and make kit from Arduino. The only genuine new hardware on the whole robot is 2 3D printed parts, this holder and the mount. Both SCLs are in the write-up and you can build it yourself. Everything on this robot either plugs in or clicks in. There are some screws, so it's not technically screwless. The quick connector chain, click, 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 and you're done. Even the brain's own battery just plugs straight into its socket, except one thing. Modulino motors run on its own separate supply, 5 to 25 volts, completely apart from the 3.3 volt logic side. This means that we have to wire this by hand, straight from the stock 9 volt battery from the SMARS. That's the one wire in the whole build, and that's the one part of the robot that's never changed. That's the same 9 volt battery that the SMARS has always had since the very first video on this channel. So let's have a look at this in Snaky. So I'm over here in Snaky, and all I need to do is just find the modules. I can click on this little expansion button here. We can click on Arduino, and we can see all the Modulinos are now available in Snaky. So if I want to drag in, for example, this motor driver, we can just click on that. We can add that in, and there it is. Now, I've already got one installed in the project here, but if we want to wire these up, we simply just drag one wire one to another, and it'll figure out the rest of the wiring for us. Now, this Modulino, if I just delete that one there, delete this board, the one that we've actually got wired up there, you can see that we have the LiPo battery going into the brain of our robot. This is the Unexpected Maker's Feather S2 Neo. I'm using a board that's very, very similar just for the purposes of demonstration on here. You can see there we have the LED matrix, we have the distance sensor, we've got the buzzer, we've got the movement sensor, and we have the Arduino motors. You can see there I've got two motors plugged into the A and B sockets. And if I zoom into this, let's just zoom into the motor board there. And you can also see that we've got voltage coming in and then also the ground from a 9 volt battery. That's the whole wiring setup for this project. No wiring required, just click in the little JST connectors between each of the modules and away you go. That completes the electronic install. Now, to make these modules really easy to use, Arduino have actually produced their own library. And what I've done with Snaky is I've paired for each of these modules the library that's required. If you drag one of these modules into your Snaky project, it will link that module to your code. So if we go back over to the code, let's just create a new file on here. You can see there at the very top it says this file is missing one import, and it says there the file doesn't import the Modulino, which is needed for the distance, the movement, the buzzer and the motors. So this is how we'd simply import them: Modulino distance, Modulino movement and Modulino buzzer. And then we actually need to move them. The reason it's highlighted there, we haven't actually initialized that yet. So we could say motors equals Modulino motors, the inertial measurement unit equals Modulino movement, and distance was Modulino. Now we do need to initialize the I2C bus on here, so typically you do ID equals 0, SDA equals, and then whatever the SDA pin is on your particular board. On this one I think it is, let me find the config file, 9 and 8, 8 is SDA, and SCL equals 9, and then you do I2C equals, and we just have to bring that in. So from machine import pin I2C and I2C, and then we'd say I2C bus equals I2C, for example. Now each one of these modules is an I2C device and therefore has an I2C address. We can also have that come from the electronics module. So if we find on here, for example, the distance sensor, it already knows what address this is. So we can see there the I2C addresses are hexadecimal 29. We can add additional ones in, but these are the ones that come with that particular module. So it's best to leave those alone. So because of that, the code already knows which addresses are likely to be used on this particular board. So 2 extra lines, name the pins, hand them over to what the I2C bus. That's the exact same C that this robot just used to stop in front of that stack of books. So one click doesn't mean it's a black box. It's real code sitting there for you to read, and on a board they were never designed to be used for. So same thing, different module. We can do that with the movement. Same prompt, just same one click. Every one of these 5 sensors, you just get what's added to the code the exact same way. The full build, the STLs and the walkthrough of the code behind every one of the sensors, it's all on kedgerobots.com in the description. So a couple of other quick things I just wanted to sort of show you on here. We import a couple of different things on here. So we import something called faces. We look at the faces code. Faces is essentially just some pixels that are drawn into a little array. So neutral is just a little array of, I think it's 8 by 12 pixels, eyes shut. So the hashes represent the pixels that will be lit up in each one of these cases. Happy is a little face like that. We then got surprise, where its eyes are kind of open. Alert, where it's kind of eyes like that, look left and look right. Dizzy, where its eyes look crossed. And then blank, we basically just repeat that for the height of the display. And then we can then load each one of those into the eyes. So sprites load, it will convert those little text strings into binary. So it's much more efficient on space usage. And then to make sure, depending which way round you mount the display might be upside down, for example. So we can very simply flip that round just by doing a matrix flip Y or a matrix flip X if it's mirrored, for example. And then to show it, we can just show a particular matrix, and that's the code that will actually display that on the LED matrix. So one of the things I did add to Snaky quite recently, I just moved my little face out of the way, is this little sprites button here, which is on the display. You click on the little display instrument, click on sprites, you'll get a full page sprite editor. So this is where we can edit our own sprites. We can create little animations, and it makes it real easy to do. It saves these as .spr files, and these are a really compact format that you can use in your code. It's very easy for these to be imported. So let me show you how we do that. Let me just close that out. So where do we load in the sprites? I've created this very simple sprite demo, which is in the demos folder if you've downloaded this repository. And if you run this, you'll see following. So it's read in the simple eyes.sprite that we've edited in here. We've exported out as an SPR and it's saved it. We can, of course, if we wanted to export this out as a MicroPython module, we export that out and then we read that file. You can see there that this looks like the code that's in our faces.py. So each of the frames is just an array of dots and hashes that represent the pixels that will be lit up. Now let me run that code again. If you want to see what SMARS gets up to next, that's a good reason to subscribe. You know what to do. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I shall see you next time. Bye for now.